Hey, before this episode starts, I do have to let you know there is a bit of an audio issue during this episode. It's kind of like a crackling that you'll hear throughout the video. It happens like 3 times, maybe 4 times max. It's a bit annoying, but I think the way the conversation went was still perfect. The video still worked, so you'll still be able to enjoy the episode pretty well. I don't think it's too big of an issue. But apart from that, enjoy this episode of the podcast. All right. We are live. How are you?
Great.
Good?
How are you?
I'm good. I was thinking on the way here, I was like, this is the most I've seen you, like, in like a consistent period since like probably like high school.
I guess so, but we've seen each other. What we saw it last week when we watched the movie. Was it last
Yeah,
week?
yeah.
And then now today, so that's two
Today,
times.
no, but like it's like consistent. Like you could say like there was a time after like high school.
Well, yeah.
Or like even during high school, we didn't really talk. Yeah.
During high school, we did.
During high school, we did, but not that much. Yeah.
Well, I left in grade 11. So
yeah.
we
Yeah.
talked. You and I know we're close, like 9th and 10th grade ish.
Yeah.
A few classes together.
Yeah. And remember, I didn't have a phone till like way later on. You know.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
Because I remember you taking a horrible picture of me and putting it as your
yeah,
profile
that's when I had a decent phone. Yeah, that's when you visited. I remember that day. You visited because I don't know, you had a free day or something.
Right.
And
I
then
came
you
to
showed
the
up.
library.
Yeah, you came to the library. But
was that grade 11? No
maybe,
way.
yeah. Because I remember you showing up grade 12 or something.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was
Grade 12 was very memorable. Like, I remember, like, vividly. Because it was the last year of, like, being in public and being, like, everything's normal. You know what I mean? Like, that was, like, 2019.
Oh, like before COVID.
Yeah, before COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last year of, like, being in a large environment consistently, you know? Yeah.
At least we got first semester of, like, first year at university.
Yeah.
COVID. So we got Frosh, we got all that stuff. I didn't do anything for Frosh, though, but...
Weren't you overwhelmed, though? Like, I started...
University?
Yeah.
No, I was so excited.
Oh, really?
I was so excited. Yeah. I was like,
but
my next
didn't you see
step.
the workload and you were like, holy shit, that's a lot.
Actually, the workload for first semester was fine. It's when COVID hit that everything just became insane. And I was like, what the fuck? But
okay.
that was when I was the best student. I would go to every single class.
Yeah.
All of my work. I was never late, really, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Keep it.
Sorry. I might get lipstick on it.
They have to listen to you.
I might get lipstick on it.
Well, today.
Introduce actually the special guest.
Yeah. If you can see one of them.
Up there, that's Simba.
Yep.
He's the menace. He's in here because otherwise he might be causing trouble downstairs. I gotta put the mic down to show the other one though.
Here. Okay, that was weird.
What?
That was very cat lady.
Well,
did you kiss it?
I did kiss her, yeah. She's my fucking pet. Look at the pillow behind you.
Is it them?
No.
Oh, okay. No.
It's more cats. And then look at this.
This is crazy.
Well, that my grandma gave me. Her nail lady gave it to her, and then she gave it to me because I was talking about Simba. This, I had to get it. It's handmade. This is going to turn into a room tour. It's handmade and from Turkey or something. But it's neat.
It's very old lady behavior.
You know, my room.
It's freaky.
My friends tell me my room is like grandma core, which I love. I think that's a great compliment. Yeah. Grandmas have style.
Are you the type of person to be like, if I was to go back into the past, I would go to like this specific year and it would be like the 50s or some shit.
Honestly,
or the 20s.
I wish I was born in like maybe like late 1970s or early 1980s.
Oh, but that's not really.
Just like for the soul, like, you know, like how like the music that I listen to now was like all coming out for the most part around that time and everything, and they would have a lot of fun. Just before, like, you know, social media and all that stuff. I mean, there was a lot of times before social media, but like my favorite actors, like Jensen Ackles, for example. He was born in like, I don't know, like late 1970s.
He was born. He wasn't doing shit. He was
like those people that were born around that were like, okay. Hold on. I need to.
This is fantasizing.
Let me take back.
Yeah.
Okay, because if I could have been like a teen or like a young adult in like the early 2000s / like mid to late 1990s, you know how fun those times were. Like, I mean, I don't know because I didn't experience it, but just like from like looking back at it, looking at old videos and hearing stuff from people who were born in those times, like hearing my dad's old stories, my mom's old stories, and like their life and that, like when they were young, sounds so much more fun than now. I mean, now it's still great, but like,
but we say that, but like maybe a kid, like, I don't know, 40 years into the future might be like,
well, they're gonna say the same thing about us.
Wow.
Those were the well, that's the thing. You're never going to be happy with the period you're born in anyways, you know?
No, I'm fine.
You're fine. I'm not.
I would, like, I always found that question, like, when would you travel? Like what year would you travel?
Say, I'm staying to this
year. Yeah. Because why would I want to go, like, past the 60s or something, you know? Like, I don't want to bring I don't want to bring race into it, but
that's a fair argument. That's a very fair argument. See,
just
as a white straight woman, I think I would have been fine back then. Maybe not you, which is sad.
But even then, like, even for yourself, like, no, like, it was I don't know. It's a very existential question, you know.
It is.
And if you don't pick now, you don't love yourself.
Shit, like, I'm my biggest hater.
I love where I am right now, you know. Just what's it called?
All the bands, you know. Sorry.
Yeah.
All the bands that I like, or a lot of the bands that I like, most of the people are either dead or they're just so old they don't perform anymore. It's fair. You're ancient now, not ancient.
Yeah.
But they're older. Like, I would have loved to have gone to those concerts when they were in their prime and just like experience all that. You know. I also would have just loved to experience what it would have been like without like social media and like iPhones and phones and stuff like that. Like the flip phone, I don't give a fuck because it's just a flip phone. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Yeah, like flip phones. Imagine how cool it would have been to just like be super sassy and flip your phone open or fucking shut it the way they do. Like in that one.
Dude, people are considering getting like
flip phones.
Yeah, again.
At the club in November, this one guy, he had like a disposable camera that he brought to the club, and he was like taking pictures, and I had the little digital camera, and so we did like that like Inception thing where we took a picture of each other with it, and he has to send me the picture still of me, but. He was like, oh, like, give me your number so I can, you know, send you this stuff. And I was like, okay. And he takes out a flip phone. He's like, sorry, I only have a flip phone. I was like, that's fucking sick.
Like,
that's
for real?
So, yeah. And so I had to like type in like my number and like put a contact in his flip phone. I had to do like the thing where you type the number at a certain time to get to whatever, like to write my name.
Yeah.
It was really sick. It's so neat.
But that's a bit dorky. Like,
I think it's cool. I think it's fun.
Well, get an actual phone too. Like,
he probably has an actual. I don't know. I respect it. I respect it.
I honestly, I wouldn't mind one because I find myself doom scrolling like.
Well, exactly. Imagine how much
reels. Yeah.
Like, you know, he doesn't have to. I don't know if he has a phone. I'm assuming maybe he does.
But there's other ways to like get to it, like your computer, your TV.
Yeah,
you know.
That's true.
There's other ways of.
But if you're scrolling on Instagram on your computer, something's wrong with you, I think.
No.
Well,
before, not
and there's
Instagram.
Something wrong with
You've
me.
done that? No.
You had class.
That's weird.
I know.
In class though, that's I guess kind of respectable, but yeah. Anyways, speaking of the past or timelines, I guess. Now we're kind of going into the future with this one, right?
Yeah.
This movie is set into the distant future. Right? And we're talking about Dune Part 2. You have the book, right? I'm looking at your library right now.
Dune?
Behind the camera. Yeah, you said you had the book, no? You never?
No.
No?
I've never said that ever.
You said that last episode.
No.
Oh.
I said I want to get the books.
Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong.
Maybe I don't know if I mentioned this when we were already rolling or not, but I think I started saying so photographer that I worked with for one of my last shoots, I was talking about Dune because I was like, I'm so excited to go watch it. He's like, oh my God, I have like the book. He got like, not like the book like of the story Dune, but like of all the pictures that were taken like behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I was really sick so I was like flipping through them.
Like the one with like Josh Brolin and the DP Greg Fraser. Yeah.
I think so. Anyways, but
I want to get that.
You should honestly. Like I was looking at the pictures, I'm like, oh my God, it's such a masterpiece. Like already just to watch it, like the cinematography is amazing, and then now like you can look at like stills and just like pictures and like actual photography of the film itself and behind the scenes and stuff like that, and it's just as beautiful, and it's so nice. So like there's amazing pictures, such great pictures. There's a really nice picture of, I think it's Denis Villeneuve and Zendaya like looking in the background, or like just looking at like the dunes. Anyways, but it's a really neat picture. I'm so lame.
No, I want to get that. I had
It's a great coffee like book piece, or you know what I mean? Like just to have it out. But like
but why would you do that? I don't like people who do that. Like this, like if this was in your living room just randomly, it's like, why? Like this is, let's use a table. Like like
it's a side table to put things on. This is a book.
Yeah, this is, and it's in your room, right? But like, I don't get people who just have it in the living room. It's like bro,
for decoration.
I'm a guest in your house. What am I gonna do? Just read a book?
Yeah, you can if you're just
read
there.
A book,
but also,
like, come
who's
on.
to say? Why are you being so selfish? Why is it for you? Is it for the guests? Maybe it's for the people that live in that home,
maybe.
and they look at.
They're messy. They're messy.
This is messy.
Clean your home.
Is this messy to you?
No,
you know
it looks like
too?
you decorated. She has a cross on the books. You can't see it, but she has a cross on the books, and it looks like it was put in place perfectly, so it can look like that.
I did put it in place perfectly, but also this is a book of prayer from World War II. It's like someone in World War II, like an actual soldier.
Thanks for making me feel bad.
Yeah,
okay.
You should feel bad. An actual soldier. This is the book. That's why this isn't my tape. That's the tape like that they to put it back together.
Oh, okay.
You flip through it. There's like markings and annotations and stuff like that. It's a book of prayer that a poor soldier fighting in World War II had with him. You know, and during his times of need and sadness and sorrow, he could pray and get all the community together to pray together. You asshole.
No, I'm not judging. I'm not.
You are. And then this is,
don't get me canceled, okay?
This is my first responder medallion.
Yeah. Do you always have to have that with you, or?
No, I found it and I was like, oh, neat, and I put it.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at, in my car I have a first aid kit, and I found my stethoscope. I was like, let me throw that in there. I don't know why I put my stethoscope in my first aid kit in my car, but I did. And then my medallion was with my stethoscope. So I was like, let me find somewhere else to put it. Also, but these two books, worth a lot of money. This book is from like 1913. If I wait even longer, it's going to be worth a lot more money. This is like a traveler's guide from like the early 1900s also, which is pretty sick.
Yeah. Well, okay. let's not divert from the subject, but let's talk about this movie. Normally I do ask people like, where did you see this movie first? But I know.
Yeah, we watched it together.
Yeah, I was. This was my second viewing of it, and second viewing in IMAX. Now, as much as like I want everybody to go see this movie, and I want them to see it in IMAX. You know, IMAX isn't cheap. Like movie tickets aren't cheap anymore.
It was $30 per ticket, wasn't it? Or no, what was it?
It was somewhere around like 25.
Yeah, which is
25 per ticket, and then you include like popcorn, you include drinks. I was talking to a friend recently about this, and like, I don't know, you want people to go back to the movies, but the prices are so inflated now, so it's like
I mean, that's
it's
not
a bit
even just an
pointless,
issue with the movie.
you know?
So it's just the economy in general is
yeah.
horrible, especially right now. Like in Canada, it's terrible. I think it's also pretty bad in the States right now too. In general,
Yeah.
the economy is no bueno.
I'm not a buff on it, but hey, you know what? Maybe we should find Spice.
Yeah,
Find
and
Spice.
sell it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Become
Take
what are they
over
called?
Arrakis.
Yeah, the Harkonnen.
I'll be like the
yeah.
Harkonnens and the what's it? Sardaukar. Is that how you say it?
I don't know what
Sardaukar.
they're called.
The
Yeah.
Emperor's
The Emperor's
soldiers.
army.
I think
yeah.
it's the Sardaukar. Something like that.
The people with the
Yeah, then they got the people hanging upside down with the blood dripping down. Yeah, those people.
I wish they did more of like that voice thing because that was
It's
so
cool.
cool.
I love how the beginning isn't the both movies in the beginning it starts with that voice.
Yeah,
so sick right off the bat. I can't lie. The first time I ever watched Dune 1, I was like, "This is gonna be sick." As soon as I heard that, I love sci-fi.
Well, okay. Normally I do start with fun facts, but this movie hasn't been out long enough for me to like.
I have some fun facts.
Find some trivia, right?
Oh, trivia. Okay.
You know, like some good like on set kind of fun fact. Like this person did this. There is some, and
some.
I'd love to hear what you have. But what is it? What is yours? I want to see if I have it here.
It's about or maybe it's not a fun fact. Well, I don't know if it's a fun fact. It's an interesting thing to think about. Is Paul Atreides really the main character?
Well, okay. Keep that because I want to talk about that. Yeah. We can't just start like that. We have to lead up into it, you know? Oh my God. We talk about the biggest subject first. Wait, 15 minutes in.
You know, the scene where the Baron kisses...
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Why do I forget his name? Fade Rotha.
Yeah.
And Fade Rotha kisses him back. Improvised. Oh,
yeah.
That's something I wanted to say.
I have that too. I have that. Should I delete it?
No, I mean
you're just taking over my.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You're not original, pretty much.
What?
You're finding out that you're not original. These thoughts aren't original to you.
Well, no, these are facts. What do you mean originals? Yeah, I'm finding them online, just like you. Anyways, what's the other thing?
Okay, so in the last podcast, we were talking about like who's gonna be cast in this, like in the second movie. Yeah. And you had mentioned a few people, whatever. And I remember you mentioned Austin Butler, and I kind of made a face. I was like, oh.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
I did?
You mentioned Austin Butler. You said, I think you knew he was playing a role. You didn't know what role he was playing. I can't really remember. Oh, I should have rewatched the first podcast. But
did I?
You did, yeah. You knew.
Dude, if I did, that's...
No, but you knew.
Oh, but I knew he was like rumored to
yeah,
like...
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so you said that.
Dude, if I said that off the dome, if I said... that would have been so sick. I would have actually replayed that entire podcast and been like, okay, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Like, I would cast these people personally, and then it's all the proper, like the casting that happened. That'd be
You
sick.
did?
No.
I'm
saying if you had said that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I feel so sassy. But anyways, so you had mentioned Austin Butler was going to be playing a role, and you said it was probably going to be the nephew of the Baron or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, because that's, I guess, the word was going around at the time. Anyways, you said that, and I kind of made a face, and I was like, oh, for some reason, I mean, honestly, I haven't watched a lot of stuff that Austin Butler's been in, but when I heard that, I was like, oh, like, weird. Like, I feel like I can't see him in the kind of, like, the Dune realm, the Dune world. Like, I was like, I don't see how he would, like, play a character. I guess, like, I didn't know. I couldn't picture him playing a character in that realm or in that movie because I've never seen him in something, like, of this style, whatever, the sci-fi stuff.
Did you just find yourself kind of hearing the Elvis voice at a certain point?
No, I didn't.
No?
No. I wasn't really looking out for that, so maybe that's why, but I didn't hear that.
Second viewing, I was kind of looking for it. I was like, let me see some mistake.
I don't know.
Because I agree with you. He
did a phenomenal job. He
blew me away. Yeah, like
he did really good.
Yeah.
Why'd you look like that?
No.
Is it because I keep looking at you and not at the camera?
No. You don't have to.
Okay. It's because I'm talking to you, so I'm like looking at you.
You're not talking to them. Yeah. Or actually, you are. They're listening.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
But no, he did a really really good job, honestly.
Yeah.
He really played that character very well. I don't know, like when I was seeing this, I was like, I knew it was Austin Butler, but I was like, that's not him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is Fade Rotha. It's not, sometimes like you watch a movie and you're looking at whatever and you're like, oh, this isn't the character, this is someone playing the character. Like, when I was watching the film, I was like, this is the character,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense. Anyways,
especially his introduction, like him getting ready to do the gladiator scene.
Right?
Like just before, when they're introducing him, they're doing the painting, how everyone is reacting to him kind of elevates his performance even more,
Exactly.
So you kind of, as much as I'm giving like credit to like his performance, I'm like, did this
I whacked my tooth.
But like, as much as like he did a fantastic job, right? The way people reacted around him,
of course, it elevates,
right? But then also you kind of like have to give credit again to him, because those people have to react to a certain performance.
Right, they're all reacting to each other.
Exactly.
And it flowed so naturally in terms of like the scene and what the emotions and all that was supposed to kind of give off.
Yeah.
It was really good. And even like his scream and
yeah,
just like the stuff, like the way that he reacted to, I don't know if like, well, I mean, we're talking about it, so it's like, if you haven't seen it and you're watching this podcast, you're
okay, it's
spoilers.
like an hour long podcast and you haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie. Come on. Yeah.
But like the scene where the Baron was killed, and the way he reacted to that, like, and all of his reactions, I think, were just like, wow, like, you're really reacting like a fucking psychopath. You are.
Exactly. And I'm glad they didn't give him too many lines. At the at the beginning, like when we first see him, I kind of feared that he was gonna imitate Stellan Skarsgård. That's his name. Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård. I think I was afraid that he was gonna imitate his voice too much.
In like the original movies? Or
no. In this one.
Baron?
Yeah, that's the Baron. That's the Baron.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. But I was afraid he was gonna imitate his voice like way too much, and I was like, ooh, like.
But he did it in the right.
Like Dave Bautista, he has his own tone. He's using his own tone.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, like he did it in a cool way, and I don't know. It also shows how much influence the Baron kind of has on him.
And you can tell kind of also the influence that the Baron has on him, like in the senses of when he's using, or kind of like when he's mimicking his voice, whether like the character realizes it or not. Like, when he said, "May thy knife chip and shatter."
May thy knife chip and shatter.
Yeah, but like the way he said it in like a kind of a mimicking kind of tone, but he also kind of said it in like the Baron's voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, because I mean, I guess from what I understand, the Baron pretty much raised him, right? And so
that's what I'm assuming.
And you see the way that the Baron spoke with Leto.
Yeah.
And so I feel like he's almost like mimicking that kind of like intimidation tactic of how the Baron speaks down to Leto, and then now how Fade Rotha is speaking down to Paul Atreides. Right?
Oh, okay.
I kind of, I see like some parallels with that. And then you can also see the way that Paul almost like, obviously, ew, you know the sound my mouth made?
No.
They probably picked it up.
Yeah.
Anyways, like even with like the way that Paul speaks, you can very much see the way like Leto's impression on him, even though he's like changed a lot with like those visions and all that stuff, whatever. Like even like in that kind of final scene where Fade Rotha and Paul are fighting, the way they're interacting, if you kind of look at it, like you take a step back and you look at it, it's almost like you're watching the Baron and Leto arguing again or fighting again, but just like young versions, sort of. I don't know. That's just kind of what I sort of thought of.
I didn't see that, and now that you mention it, like I'm starting to see that that like, what's it called? Kind of comparison that you're making. Yeah.
Maybe it's like a little Inception.
You know what's funny? Bill Skarsgård, like the guy's son, who, well, you might know, he played the clown in It. Yeah. And Barry Keoghan.
What about Barry?
Those two were rumored to play Federatha.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like Austin Butler
Or, like,
was
they
the
were
perfect
close.
casting.
Yeah, the perfect casting now,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like,
I think Bill would have done a really great job.
yeah, yeah.
I think Barry Keoghan, I mean, he's a great actor in general, but I really think that Austin Butler was like perfect for the role. Seeing him play it,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
wow, like this was a great pick.
It's really one of those like roles that like you can't really understand it until you see it, you know?
Yeah.
Like you can't
Or if you read it too.
What do you mean?
Like if you read Dune, you can understand the characters really well, obviously, because you're reading it. But
yeah, but like I mean, like the choice of casting Austin Butler for that role.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm trying to say. Like you hear like Austin Butler's gonna play this role, whether you read the books or not. Hearing that he's gonna play this bald, psychopathic villain.
Yeah.
You're a bit confused, especially after watching a movie like Elvis, which was like massive.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 years ago now.
I think so.
Yeah. So now you're a bit confused, but once you see the performance, it really like sells it, you know? You're really like, wow, this is. And honestly, I think his career is just getting started. Like a lot of his roles in the past, like it was a lot of Disney Channel stuff and like
I remember, I think that must have been it, because I probably remember a lot of him just like from Disney.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, so being like, when you said that, I was like,
he was one of those actors that like sort of showed up in every episode, and they kind of, he was like one of those actors that like you see in certain episodes. You know, he comes back for like a couple episodes within the show, but really he's not like a recurring.
Well, he is a recurring character in a sense of like contingency wise.
Yeah, yeah, but they will bring him back if it's necessary. You know, that type of thing.
Yeah, for the plot.
He wasn't like always there weekly. You know. Yeah. I do have a fun fact that I found pretty interesting. A lot of I try to find my these fun facts all over the place, but a lot of the ones I found were like, oh, they didn't do this, but actually in the book this would have happened, right? And I didn't really want to include those because at the end of the day, you can compare it with the book if you want, you know?
I mean, regardless, pretty much like any film adaptation of a book, you're going to be missing a huge chunk of information. Or
for sure, yeah.
Because it's hard to, I mean, if you do that, it's either going to be a really fucking long movie, and Dune 2 is already a long movie, but it's a masterpiece of a long movie, but like it would have been even longer. It'd have to be split up in even more parts and whatever. I'm hoping there's a part 3. I think there might. I've heard. I don't know. Like
they haven't greenlit anything yet.
Greenlit. Yeah. But it'd be great to have like a third one. Honestly, I just really like this. Dune is like it's honestly probably like it's my favorites in my list of my favorite movies. You know.
Actually, I'll ask you after this, but listen to this, okay? So, this is one of the fun facts. After drinking and surviving the water of life, both Jessica and Paul Atreides learn that they are the respective daughter and grandson
of the Harkonnens of the
Baron Harkonnen. Yeah, which is, by the way, insane.
Well, the Bene Gesserit is so crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
but now, like, you understand how far like they've been plotting. Like, like, when we both saw it, it was my second viewing, and I was waiting for that moment. I was like, oh, this scene is good. I'm waiting for her reaction, and the shock on her face was insane.
I don't even remember you looking at my face. Wait, did I like look at you?
Yeah, you looked at it and you're like, what? Like, and honestly, that's how I was. I saw it with Fido, who was the guest of the very first episode of the podcast. I saw it with him. That was my first viewing, and I remember we both
watched it without me for the first time.
Sorry, maybe part 3.
Fuck you. And you were like, we have to watch Dune 2 together for the first time for the pod.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that.
Did.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
no,
you
I
did.
did. I texted you after I saw it.
No, but before it came out, you're like, we gotta watch it together for the pod for viewing.
I was planning to go alone.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yo, can I join you? And I'm like, sure, like why not? And I don't mind it. Like
No,
I
it's
normally
fine. My
watch.
heart is also is just honestly just really broken.
All
And
right. Okay. Okay. Let me finish.
I did cry myself to sleep when I found out that you watched it for the first time without me. It was really upsetting. I'm still recovering, you know.
Well, I'm making it up right now.
Then
Huh?
he gives me seat 13, and I almost spill my popcorn everywhere. And
Oh yeah, that was a bad day. That was we were full of bad luck.
it was the 13th of March.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't Friday, but the 13th of March, you had seat 13 and 14. He took 14.
Yeah.
Gave me 13. You dropped your popcorn.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Okay, but it wasn't as bad as yours.
No, mine was. Well, it went all over his lap, and I was like, "Sorry."
Yeah,
I'm taking all the popcorn
it
off
was-
his lap when I get back, and like, I'm gonna eat it.
Dude,
That's
it
money.
was your whole the whole box fell. Mine it was
It
like a
didn't fall,
spill.
though.
Like,
It just jumped.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, let me finish this quote. Okay.
Sorry.
The movie doesn't reveal how this came to be, but in the prequel novels of Dune, and I do want to mention this because when I found out about this in the book, like about this fun fact of the book, it blew my mind. Okay. The movie doesn't reveal how this came to be, but in the prequel novels of Dune, Reverend Mother Gace Helen Moham, the old lady, is revealed to be their mother and grandmother.
Mother and grandmother.
Mental-
Like
she's
Jessica's mom.
she's the mom of Jessica
and
and the
then
grandma
Paul's,
of Paul.
Yeah, got it.
Crazy. So that means the
Honestly,
Baron
I'm not
and
that
that old lady,
surprised.
the Baron and that old lady made it. Or I don't want to say fucked, but like it's
Yeah, no, they were
it's a bit-
bumping. They were bumping
yeah,
skin.
they were bumping.
Yeah.
But wait. Listen to this. She once requested a child from Baron Harkonnen as part of the Bene Gesserit's plan to beget the one, the Kwisatz Haderach, whatever. To which the Baron conceded by brutally. Listen again. I'm not gonna.
There was a lot of
But wait. Let me finish this. Listen to this. In retaliation, the Reverend Mother inflicted a disease on the Baron that made him deformed and severely obese.
Honestly,
that's how he looks. He looks like that because of that.
you gotta respect her for that.
Like, my mind. I was reading this and I was like, boom. One thing, she's the mother and grandmother. Boom, she slept with Baron Harkonnen. Not only did she sleep, she got assaulted. S.A. I don't know if I think my video might get taken down if you say those words. I still don't know the rules.
Essay and like. Great.
Yeah, I'll bleep.
You're gonna have to put like a content warning on here or a trigger warning or whatever on here now.
But these are fictional. Anyways, but
and
that's how that's how he became obese, and that's how he had his issues.
Shit, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
There was, just to add to that, disgusting, like how disgusting this character is. I think I also heard that I can't confirm this for sure because I saw it on TikTok, but I heard on TikTok. It sounds so stupid. My source, TikTok. Sorry. I'll have to joke around to give this horrible
new
bit of
age
information.
investigation, journalism.
Source,
yeah. Imagine on CNN, someone is just like, based on our sources, which is TikTok.
Yeah, honestly, like that's what a lot of people do nowadays. But anyways,
yeah.
Like a horrible thing. Another horrible thing about the Baron.
Mm-hmm.
He was also I don't know if I can say this word if it's gonna get it taken down. You might have to bleep it.
Say it. I'll bleep it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
He liked kids, and he would do like stuff. And
stop repeating it.
Sorry. Well,
that's more work for me.
You're gonna bleep
I know,
it.
but it's more work for me.
Twice.
Okay.
Oh no, you have to bleep twice. Oh boo, poor Sanamo.
I'll finish your fucking thought. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like he's just a disgusting character, so it doesn't surprise me that he's done those, or to hear that that's like accurate to the books. What canonically accurate, is that what it's called?
I don't know. I've never heard that word. Yeah.
No, like if something is canonically accurate means like it's like something that happened in the realm of like the book.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, no, like that character is just so disgusting. And imagine like if Fade Rotha survived, do you think he would have followed in the Baron's footsteps? Because he's already like, he idolized him, right? But he also wanted to overtake him and be better than him. Do you think he would have also become such like, he would kill people and he was super violent, but do you think he would have also
for sure,
like done the horrible things that the Baron did in those specific
like their people, their race, like the Harkonnen are it I don't know, it's like it's written and shown as like this pure evil, you know. From the very moment you meet them, there is no color in their life. And then not only is there no color, now they get into the gladiator scene and it's like black and white.
Yeah.
So
because their sun is black, right?
And sure we can say it's because of the sun, but it's also like poetic the way it's written. Like,
of course,
for sure,
of course.
right? So, but like, you see what I mean? Like, there was no color before that, right? I think when were they bleeding black?
I don't think so. I think they were bleeding like blood, but there's also like the Baron, like he's in those oil baths all the time. They heal using this weird like black oil stuff, and their mouth on the inside, like they put this black stuff in their mouth too, probably also part of that healing property.
Like the what's it called, the three ladies that he, like, harpies? No, not harpies.
I remember.
Wait, I forgot their names, but they were they're the cannibal girlfriends of Fade Rotha or whatever. Yeah, those were pretty weird. But yeah, they're shown as like this pure evil, right? To kind of, in a way, show like the good side of Paul when he fights them, right? Like the good,
to
meaningful,
justify.
Yeah, exactly. But then you read into it a bit more, and you're like, yeah, he's the problem. Like, Paul is a problem even more than the Harkonnen.
Remember how
he basically takes over his place, if you think about it.
Yeah.
In terms of like.
Well, there's also a shift
in terms of power.
He realizes that he also is has Harkonnen blood, right?
Crazy, yeah.
But, well, you know how you mentioned, actually, I think I vaguely remember, I might be wrong, but when we did the first podcast for Dune Part 1, you had mentioned like, oh, like something along the lines of, do you think Paul is like another one of those white savior characters?
I did, yeah. God, I really wish I listened to the podcast, like the first episode before we did this, but I didn't want to listen to it because it's just, it made me so sad, the fact that we lost so much audio during that episode. And every time I tried to re-listen to that episode, I kind of get sad.
Broke your heart.
I told you this. That was the one episode I was like the most prepared for. Like, I had every topic that I wanted to talk about, and then the audio issue came about, and all I could focus was the audio. I swear there's moments of that episode that you can probably tell that I'm not listening to what you're saying. I'm just wishing to God that it's capturing what you're saying. You know?
Yeah.
And it would kind of make it hard to like keep talking, you know?
Yeah, because you're focusing on like the dial of the volume.
Exactly, yeah, the dial. And then there was this pop-up that would show up to tell me if it is getting the audio or not, or if my mic disconnected, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, speaking of that, the white savior thing. Why not? Let's go into it. We're 40 minutes deep. Why not? Now let's talk about it.
Well, what do you think of it now? Like, now that you've seen the way that he's kind of not really.
I'm
it's like
glad.
He's portrayed as a hero, but at the same time, he's also being portrayed as a villain at the same time. Like or maybe he's kind of one of those anti-heroes. Sort of. It's hard to tell.
A bit of. You ever seen Breaking Bad?
Of course.
Yeah. Breaking Bad was the first, like, I think, the first show that kind of made me feel, like, made me aware that, like, I am mature. If it sounds like I'm flexing, but like, I was watching that show, and like, I felt bad for Skylar, You know, I was like, wow, like she does not deserve everything she's going through, right?
Yeah, you can see the same thing with Chani.
Yeah. And then I saw a lot of video essays after that, right? And then I learned that the actress who played Skylar got a lot of backlash, and she would get like hate online. And it's like, first of all, she's acting, right? And second of all, um she didn't write this story,
Yeah.
like, why are you getting mad at her? And we're all seeing this through Walter's perspective. And this is where I kind of see the same with this story. I'm like, we're following Paul, right? And we're seeing him do all these things, and he justifies this as a good thing, right? But I love how there's like moments of us seeing Shawnee react to what he's doing,
Yeah.
and to how it's making people react, and that was pretty cool.
I also think it's very. I love to see. I might be losing my voice again. Hopefully I don't. We were supposed to film yesterday, but my voice was gone.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well,
I was sick last week, so that's probably why. Honestly,
just be
It's still
careful.
coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Careful of what? Not to lose my voice. I'm talking.
Yeah, but like, don't scream. Don't.
Don't scream.
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
Listen, Al Gaib.
Sometimes I mumble it in bed at night because I'm like just thinking,
Yeah.
I'm like, I must look insane. Like if ghosts are real and they're watching me, they're probably like, I don't want to haunt this motherfucker.
The final fight, Javier
Yeah.
Bardem is like, listen, Al Gaib.
Fuck, what was I gonna say?
Yeah.
What
About
was
the
I
white
gonna say?
savior thing.
No, it was about to add to your I stuttered like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Sorry, to add to your point with the whole, I guess still in the white savior part, but I found it very interesting, like to be able to see and kind of watch how Paul, like his behavior shifts and changes. Obviously, you see that with all characters; they shift and they change and they become whatever. But to see how he's like, so I'm like, oh, I can't go to. Was it the north?
The south.
The south. Oops. Was it
Because
the south?
I think they had the I think they had the north.
Yeah, I don't remember. North, south, east, west.
Yeah.
Nose, don't know. Anyways, whatever the part that he was like, oh, like I can't go there because if I go, the destruction's gonna happen, right? And then you see how like torn he is. He's like, I can't do it. He's afraid, like where he cries. He's having nightmares about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's got Chani there, like comforting him, and he's making these promises to her, but then eventually he ends up going, and then exactly what he said he didn't want to do, and the reason why he didn't want to go there, he ended up doing it, and then exactly what he prophesized or what he dreamt of happened, and then but he's not I think there's probably like an internal battle, and I think maybe I'm just like seeing this because I'm like hoping that he's still like a good character and he didn't turn evil or whatever, but like I think he's playing into his power so that he can hopefully kind of eventually make a change. Like he's acting according to how the Bene Gesserit and how like the people who believe in the Lisan get whatever the fuck. Oh my god, I forgot what it's called when we just said it.
Lisan Al Gaib.
Yeah. Lisan Al Gaib. Like he's acting the way that they want him to, so that he can get their trust, get their power to ultimately maybe do something else, like where it's betraying or it's like whatever.
Well, that was his thing. It was revenge, and then it shifted to I guess like conquer.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's like he's pretending that he's shifting to that kind of conquering kind of mindset, but he's still maybe like it'd be neat if he was still upholding that kind of, I want to get revenge and to protect these people that I've become close to, but I'm gonna have to act this way, and I'm not gonna tell them because otherwise, they'll foil my plans, whatever. So I'm gonna hurt all these people, but for the greater good. Like I do think it might be something like. Do you see that happening, or do you think he's just fully kind of gone down the deep end and he's being dragged down? Like I know the whole the worm piss,
yeah,
has done something to him.
Well, that's where it like really changed. That's where he really I guess accepted everything, every prophecy, and was like, yeah, this is the only way. This is the only way, and that's the only way. we will get to that green
Yeah.
paradise.
Do you think he'll wake up?
Yeah. No.
No.
And I hope he doesn't. I hope the next movie really shows us, like, I don't want like some, it's going to sound cheesy, like I don't want oh, Shawnee comes back, she kills him, saves his day, kind of wakes up everybody. But I've heard like Dune Messiah is kind of like the people on Arrakis realizing, like, hey, this guy said he was going to bring us to green paradise, but really we just want to go back to our cultures, like what's going on. Anyways, I don't know, I don't want him to wake up. I want him to,
You want him to kind of just
fall deeper into that trap, like,
yeah. You could, yeah.
because his
definitely be more
motivation
interesting.
to every action was Shawnee the whole way through, right? Until he goes to the south. Why did he go to the south again? It was
I don't remember. I think it's because the
they bombed the
yeah.
exactly. But you can tell Shawnee was the emotional attachment to everything, you know.
I think Chani kind of almost represents that last bit of humanity and freedom that he had left.
And that's why on the surface he explains, he argues all of his actions for her. Like he says, I'm doing this so that we can be together. Like, you know, like this is.
I don't know that he's not. It doesn't seem to be saying often. Like,
well, he doesn't say like
be together, but like
he doesn't say that out loud. But that's what he's trying to say. Like, he's doing this for Shawnee. Like, and at the end of the day, like, kind of like.
I think he's doing it for him and for his father. But what's sad at the end of the day, like what, like.
But that's below. That's below the surface. I think that is below the surface. But on the surface, to explain his actions and to kind of put a human, kind of like answer to all of it all, it's like, I'm doing this for you guys, you know, I'm doing this for you, Shawnee, you know. That's how I see it. And then he drinks the water of life, and then he loses his mind. He sees his sister, he sees a green paradise, and he's like, this is the only way. Bet
you know. But when you look at that, it's sad because he's betrayed himself, he's betrayed his father, and he's betrayed his love.
How has he betrayed his father?
Because that's not what his dad wanted. Remember, his dad didn't know, like, Leto didn't know really like what was going on with the Bene Gesserit. He didn't know Jessica's plan. Well, Jessica didn't know much until she drank that what's it called, the water of life. Water of life, yeah, right. But she still was hiding stuff from Leto still, you know, and Leto knew that, but he loved her. So I think you can kind of see where, like, oh, like Leto can get blindsided by love, and then Paul
same too,
blindsiding Chani by love, or with, you know, or fuck, that didn't make sense.
He's blindsiding the Arrakis people.
Yeah.
Well, he's kind of using faith as like a weapon. You know? But I get the message. It's just, I think what I personally found difficult while watching the movie is seeing when he decides to change. Like, those little moments when he decides to change, because it happens very fast. Yeah, it all happens very, very fast. And I remember the first time I saw the movie, and after he drinks the water of life, and then he has that whole speech. He's like, "I'm Duke Leto. I'm Duke. No, not Duke Leto. Duke Muad'Dib. I'm Duke Atreides. Paul Muad'Dib Atreides of Arrakis." So those little lines, like him just saying of Arrakis, is already enough of like. Yeah. Whoa!
But I don't know why.
What do you mean by that? You know,
I really almost feel like maybe he's not as far gone as like we think he is. Or maybe it's just like a facade that he's putting up with a different goal in mind. Maybe that's just like something that I want.
And what kind of goal is that? Bad? Good?
Like a good goal, or like he means like something.
That's the problem. That's the problem. That is the problem. That's what the director doesn't want people to think. That's what the author doesn't want people to think. Bro, I saw this episode of Vanity Fair, and it was like Denis Villeneuve talking about the movie, right? And then he says, he basically says that Shawnee is there to kind of show that like
she's like his
judgment.
moral. He's also like his moral compass.
Yeah.
Almost,
But don't you understand? Like, he doesn't have. His goal may be great in like what he thinks is great, like a green paradise. It sounds nice, right? But
that means changing the fundamental kind of what the world is.
In the book, isn't it? There's like a genocide, right? He
Such a
still
big book.
stays on the planet. Why? Why can't you leave? Why can't the Arrakis people control spice? Like handle the business of it all, right? Why do you have to stay here? If like
for me personally, it's just because I'm like, oh, like he started off as such like an innocent boy, and then he's been poisoned by his family and by the agendas being kind of put out there.
That's
by the
art
Bene Gesserit
testing
and
you.
Harkonnens.
That is art testing
I know,
you.
I know. It's like, oh, like I'm like he's just a little boy, but he's not.
Yeah.
Like damn it, Paul, don't do that, you know. But I mean, he is going to. I feel like, but this is a great maybe part where we can make it like a little segue into the topic of Duncan, Idaho.
Duncan.
Yeah.
Why are you thinking about Duncan?
So have you?
I haven't looked into. No. I just know Jason Momoa, man. He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently, I haven't read the books again or anything, and this information I'm getting, it's possible that it's just like you can't be trusted. But so okay, apparently, there's been a lot of talk going around of like, oh, is Paul Atreides really the main character, or is he kind of like the catalyst to whatever, right? Who is the main character in that case if it's not Paul Atreides? What is Duncan Idaho's relevance? Because he keeps being brought up. Like, he's brought up a few times past his death. Like, not a lot, really. But
in the books?
In the film. Like,
really?
Once, not a lot. Like, he's brought up once or something. I don't know. But people, like, again, source TikTok. So stupid. But so in the books, apparently there's a lot of like fixation on Duncan, Idaho, and I don't want to like spoil too much, or not even spoil, because I don't really, I'm probably gonna get everything very wrong or kind of skewed. But Paul Atreides, you know, he idolizes Duncan, right? You kind of see that in the beginning. He's like, he loves him. He really loves him. And so apparently Duncan Idaho's character actually plays a much bigger role, and he gets like brought back from the dead numerous times in the books, and people are kind of saying like, oh, like the real main character is Duncan.
As in he wouldn't be the Lisana guy.
No, I don't know. I don't think it's that, but it's like the so Paul has this obsession with him, whatever, and anyway, he keeps getting brought back, and every time, like, it's like he finds out. This is where I might be wrong, but it's like he finds out like what like is actually going on, and he's like, I don't agree with this. Then he like fights against it, and he gets killed, but then he gets brought back, and then he gets brought back in that initial state where he then believes everything that Paul's saying, whatever. Because you know, you look at his time that he spent with the Fremen, like in the first movie, and how much he ended up like really liking the Fremen. He like got acclimated to them very easily and he, you know, whatever. And so like he cares for the Fremen, right? And so his character coming back and being brought back, and then always kind of realizing like, oh, this is not wrong. What's happening to the Fremen and the people of Iraq is whatever. But he gets like apparently revived a bunch of times and cloned and stuff like that. And there's this weird obsession around the character of Duncan Idaho within the books, and his importance and presence is a lot, or he's just a lot more relevant in the books than or in the story, I guess, than people know unless you've read the books. Yeah. And so I'm wondering if in part 3, are we going to see Duncan Idaho again? Or is it going to take like a lot? Or like, is there going to be like, you know, I know there was a spin-off of the movie before, like the original movies. Yeah. Where there was a series that apparently was actually pretty good, I heard. But
I don't know. I didn't watch it. Honestly, this is a side note, like I think TV got good like after like 2001 or something, or maybe like 2000. Yeah. 2000 TV started becoming like incredible. Anyways, I don't know. I didn't think about that guy until his death. Like, he died, and then that was it for me. Maybe because there wasn't much shown about like him, like about Duncan in the first movie. Like, they showed him a bit, right?
Yeah.
And I got that vibe, like that older brother, like looking up to vibe, right? But at the same time, he was like just a cool guy, you know. And then he died. That was it. I don't think they will bring him back. Maybe you'll have flashes or something, but
yeah, because
to bring him back is crazy.
It's like he's almost like perceived as like this kind of like godlike person, or like he's really idolized by Paul. I might be wrong, but anyways, but I'm pretty sure like he does. I mean, I can look it up, but I'm pretty sure he does. Like he gets revived, or not revived, but cloned, and but like since they have all that crazy technology, like it's him, and because he's such like a perfect specimen, like he gets bred with a lot, or they're cloned through, or like people like whatever, they'll make more people using his DNA and stuff like that because he's so perfect, and so they've got this weird obsession with him. And so I think that's interesting. Like, oh, like I wonder where this, sorry, cat hair again. I wonder where this all fits into the story and when that kind of starts. Maybe I just got completely fooled by TikTok, but
I would say so.
They were referencing stuff in like
it's
the books and like showing stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. I can look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was revived in 1969's Dune Messiah. He is the only character to feature in all 6 of Herbert's original Dune novels. Duncan Idaho is the main character of the entire Dune books from beginning to the end. Otherwise, he is a human being with no messianic aspirations and has personified immortal human nature. And like it's like, oh, like he might be like the real hero or something. Why is he so important? After falling in the desert war on Arrakis, he grew in importance from this relatively obscure role through the series of, I don't know how to pronounce that, Twi'leksu Gola incarnations.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Over the next 5,000 years, the first playing a key role as a Mentat in the final plot against Padisha Emperor. Against the Padisha Emperor, becoming the husband of the regent Aaliyah Atreides. Oh. So I think interesting.
It is, but there's so much lore. I don't think if they do touch on that, well, fair play. What a call, but
be the Messiah part.
Yeah.
And so I think that's when he kind of ends up coming back in the picture. It'd be interesting. Anyway,
from what I've read, apparently he did all of this. Like, the writer wrote the books, and people didn't understand. Like, they didn't understand that the message is to not trust people like Paul, right? People who like promise all of this, and then they get power, and then they lose their shit, and then they're like focused on like this, like their own crazy goals, right?
Yeah. It's
that kind of like detriment like the lives of the people following them, right?
Yeah. It's interesting also that like looking at Paul and seeing how he kind of hated the people in power, and then the moment he kind of got power, he tried to hate it at first, but then it's almost like you could kind of tell that he was disturbed, but he also was curious about it. And I think I think his curiosity of power and of his role and questioning like, oh, am I really this super important person, ultimately corrupted him, alongside obviously the Bene Gesserit and all that stuff, the Harkonnens and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting to look at. Do you think like he would be someone that would be like, do you think he's the character that could be saved from the path that he started to go down? Because I feel like,
I don't know how.
Yeah.
I think out of all his visions that he's had, all of them are kind of true. Like, they've all kind of happened, except for Shawnee stabbing him. That was one of the visions in the first movie.
Yeah,
remember?
But there's other visions he had where he was like hurt or like whatever, or failed. You know, like how he.
Yeah. So he kind of.
But he learns from those.
Yeah.
So do you think maybe he's like almost afraid of Chani, and so he's keeping her close to keep her far, if that makes sense?
Could be.
That could be
That, yeah,
something.
that's interesting. Yeah. Well, speaking of reincarnation and other religious stuff, there was a lot of like controversy about like the religious implications of like this movie, right? The author himself of the books said he like grabbed out of from multiple
Religions.
Arabic traditions and all that,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
And there was controversies about like the cast not being that diverse, which was a controversy that wasn't like as big when the first movie came out, but now it's pretty major.
Do you think they're
Personally, like I don't know. The message still lands. Like I still get what they're trying to say, right? When it comes to like the cast, right? Just get the right people, whatever. I know they're not like specifically like Arabic people, but they're not. This isn't Earth either. Like I don't know. I
mean, they could make the same arguments about Star Wars.
Yeah, so it's just having the message land is already enough. Like you don't have to like kind of like put everything like on the nose, like right? That's the right term, right? But like, yeah, not everything needs to be like straight up. Oh, like, do you get it? Because the what's it called? The cast member is Middle Eastern, and this is kind of like a comparison to what's going on in the Middle East. Like, come on, like you don't have to spoon feed everything, right? But that's not an issue. I don't want to talk about that. What I do want to talk about.
I don't want to talk about what you brought up.
Yeah. Actually, we did kind of talk about this. I saw this quote from an article. It said, instead of a feeling of revolution amongst the evidently Persian-inspired Fremen, the arrival and rise of Chalamet's Occidental hero comes off to some as yet another instance of Western society coming to the aid and saving a foreign land. And if you believe that, negative against or for, right? Like if you're for Paul's like ruling, or if you're against Paul's ruling, actually yeah, whether you are on the spectrum, right, and you still see it as like another example of a Hollywood movie doing that, this is,
I don't think that's the
incomparable to like other movies like that I can think of like white savior moments.
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes it's like it's so blatant, right?
There's a lot of movies where I fucking cringe, and I'm like, oh, you ever seen there's this movie about these black women that were working at NASA, and they were like very helpful during the first moon landing. But apparently, like in one of the scenes of the movie, this black lady, she works in a section where there is no colored bathrooms in that building.
Oh, I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen like clips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of that,
TikTok.
the boss is like mad that she's always like leaving.
Yeah,
and,
but just because there's no space for her to use the bathroom.
So he goes and breaks the bathroom sign. He's like, now there's just a bathroom or some bullshit like that. It's like, okay, so out of this whole movie, this is how we've solved the racism, right? But now, because you say there's just one toilet, now all of America is good. That's policy. I don't know. It's just these small little things. That's an example of like thinking like, okay, I fixed the problem, you know. But no, you fixed a
problem
for like momentarily.
Yeah.
You know, who knows after these women leave, after they leave, who's to say that's gonna continue, right? Or what if you get fired? What if you get removed? The boss, right? Who's to say the next boss is gonna implement that? You there's moments of like white savior narrative in movies that's very common, and I don't see it in this, especially if you focus and you like you pay attention. Like there is no need to cut to Shawnee in a lot of these scenes, right? But she's the one where what everyone is cheering and you're like, whoa, this is sick. He just wrote The Worm, or he just gave this incredible speech. They cut to her and your mind should be like, why they cut to her? Why is she reacting like that? Try to understand why Shawnee is reacting like that, and try to understand why like the director and the authors say that this is a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
You know what Shawnee does?
Things. Yeah.
She stands on business.
She does. Yeah. She does. And I'm so glad that the first movie there was so much discourse about how we didn't see enough of Zendaya, you know? Like she's an amazing actress and she was there for like 7 minutes. And they compensated and more with this movie. Mm-hmm. Like to me there was like four characters that like kind of stayed with me. Mm-hmm. I won't. Lady Jessica is not one of them, just because she kind of continued.
Is very interesting.
She is interesting, right? But the baby freaked me out a bit more too. Like, so it's her interaction with the baby has been
Anya Taylor-Joy.
But there's Paul, because his shift to power is insane. Like,
it also
like that's
like.
Huh?
I tried to snap. It didn't even make sense. Like it happens like
it happens fast, but it also like kind of scares you too. Like Timothée Chalamet like played like was incredible. Like really.
My ankles. I was exposed to my ankles. I didn't appreciate that.
But he rocked that scene, the speech scene, and then the final scene. Like, do you know how incredible you have to be to do a scene with Christopher Walken and make yourself look as the tough guy? You're that guy, you know? In a world also where he's playing the emperor, like the emperor of like this whole universe. Anyways, there's him. There's Austin Butler. We've talked about Austin Butler.
Yeah, incredible. Like again, incredible performance from
a
him.
guy
so
who
good.
knows how to use his voice in performances. I can't wait for more of his movies.
Me
and
too.
Hearing how different he sounds.
Watching this actually made me want to like. Do you ever watch a movie and you're like so impressed by the way a certain actor played a character?
Yeah.
That you're like, I need to watch more films or things that they're in. Like, this made me want to explore other works that Austin Butler has been a part of.
You know what's one he was part of? What? I think maybe this was him.
Because I haven't watched all this.
I don't know how I know this. This is why when you have 3 sisters, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure.
Oh
or something
my god!
Like that. He was in that.
Yeah. Wait, I forgot about that.
But here's the thing, like he's a very up and coming actor in my opinion. Like he's still getting there. Like he's getting more and more good roles.
I forget that he used to date Vanessa Hudgens, right?
Yeah.
For like a long time, I think, or something. I don't know. I don't really know.
Anyways, there's him. There's Zendaya, which we just talked about,
amazing,
right?
Yeah. It's crazy. She can dance. She can sing.
Yeah.
She can model, and she can act. I said app. She
Is
can
that
act.
quadruple
threat.
Yeah, quadruple
and she's
threat.
Intelligent too. True. So I mean,
how do you know?
Intelligent also, just the way she carries herself and the way she speaks.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you're an intelligent woman. I think.
Yeah.
You know, intelligence doesn't just mean like I'm good at school. You can tell by the way someone carries themselves and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is an intelligent person.
Mm-hmm.
She gives off that to me.
She does, yeah. No, I agree. And then there's Javier Bardem.
Is he the guy that plays
He plays Stilgar.
Stilgar, yeah.
Yeah.
He's great.
this
The
is where I want to. Sorry. We will talk about him, and I want to hear what you're saying. And actually, you might answer what I'm about to ask you with what you're about to say. Anyways, I want to go into my hot take of this movie. Oh. I haven't done a hot take for a movie on the podcast in a very long time until now, and I think Javier Bardem's character is, if you look at the message that the story is trying to tell you, he's the best representation of like that message.
I think I agree entirely with what you're saying.
I will say this is a lot. It has a lot to do with how we see him in the first movie.
Yeah. Well,
kind of like Timothée Chalamet.
What he turned into from the beginning of how he was to this like slave to the fucking
exactly
to the propaganda, how easily he fell to it. he became a slave to the system.
Yeah.
Like you see how he was like such a tough and like really like impressive character in the beginning, or a guy in the beginning, and then he turned into this. He's like blindly following Paul without question. Like, I'm religious and I don't even blindly follow, word for word the stuff that I might read in the Bible or something, like, but he immediately goes from like, it's like, oh, he has a mind of his own, he can think for himself, to immediately he's like, oh, now I'm just gonna, say, do, think whatever the Lisana gave.
Yeah.
Whatever, like, believe all those things. Whatever, right?
It's and I remember watching the movie and seeing him kind of have comedic moments, and I was like, kind of like, oh no, what, like, it sounds bad that I'm saying this, but I was like, is this a marvelification of this franchise, of like trying to add jokes at like any part? But really, it's like the more, because we're following it through Paul's POV, he's hanging out with Stilgar a lot more, and now he's starting to see like see how deceivable,
so humble as it was written,
how deceivable Stilgar can be, and it's, I don't know, it's so fascinating to see a character go from a tough leader, like we saw a guy, he spat on Leto's table when he saw
the
him.
ground or the table.
The table.
Yeah.
And
like,
he was ready. Like,
he was ready to fight.
Bro, that's how you meet the new person who's ruling your world now.
Yeah.
And
well, that's what I was saying. Like he went from that to what he is now on Dune.
To Lisa Nagai.
Yeah, so as it was written.
Yeah. He is so humble that he will not admit that he is the one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Only the Lisan Age would be so humble.
Yeah, like, only the.
Relax, dude.
And then he drinks the water of life. Like, you gotta take in, there's so many clues showing us how this prophecy was written by Bene Gesserit, who are also people trying to influence like, this prophecy wasn't, it's not really a prophecy when you look at the clues. Like, if Lady Jessica was trained to kind of like mask the poison of the water of life, or any poison really, that's what he says, right? That's how he says Lady Jessica survived.
And he was also trained, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly. He was trained to use the voice, so why not would he not be trained to avoid poison? He was about to become the leader of a new world,
I was thinking
the
also,
heir,
when he was when Chani came in and he was like pretty much dying, and Jessica's like, you need to do this for him. It's like, oh, if he's really this messiah, this fucking like godlike man, or whatever, why does he need Shawnee's help to live? Or does that, like, it's like, oh, is he like,
and he won't change anything
if he's
too.
If he's so like, so strong and so untouchable, he's still like, what, what if Chani hadn't helped, then what, why, where did she play, like, what is her role in this? And even Jessica at some point says, like, you're part of this, like, or you have a role in all of this, like, what is that role? And I think that really disturbed Chani too, like, hearing, she was already so disturbed at that point, but hearing like, you have a role, it's like, I think she's so disgusted and so ashamed
that this is
that
the only plan, like,
yeah,
yeah,
the man that she fell in love with and had faith with, like, pretty much used her.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because if you look at it, I also wonders, like, did he really love her, or did he love what she could do for him?
Mm-hmm.
You know, which I think is, because even to the extent of, like, the comfort that she could provide him, and kind of like that just person that's there for him, that isn't like his mother or whatever, and that isn't looking at him the same way that everyone else kind of looks at him. But is he doing that out of love for her, or out of, like, is he just he likes what she does for him? Like,
Mm-hmm.
am I making sense?
No, you are. And I agree. Like, it's kind of like you could see moments where she was arguing for him amongst the Southerners, right? So she was really like fighting for him, be like, okay, be nice to him, right?
Yeah.
And then she lost that influence. Like, it's kind of like it's kind of like
He kind of made a fool of her.
she ran, she walked,
So he
Paul,
could walk.
so he could run. Yeah,
She walked so
she
he
walked
could
so
run.
he could run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and as you were talking about Duncan Idaho being the hero of the story, I think Zendaya is the hero of the story. Yeah,
Yeah. I
like
really I haven't.
she
looked
narrated the
into-
first movie, you
Yeah.
know, and as much as you can say like Florence Pugh was narrating at this point, she was more so like narrating her
diary.
Her diary, yeah, kind of like events that she was seeing.
Yeah,
like
I really want to know more about Florence Pugh's character, Princess what again? Princess
Elursa or something, something like that. They never say her name in the movie. They never say the Emperor's name in the movie.
Yeah,
They just say the Emperor.
Yeah. But I really want to know more about the character, like the princess.
Mhm.
Yeah, I also really want to see what happens with Chani. Like, what does she?
Yeah,
what
what
is
does she
doing
do?
when all this
Yeah.
is happening? When she leaves, where is she going?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
There's honestly, like, there's a lot of things I expect from Demon Messiah. Like, I don't know about you, but like, I just want to know. Like, I just trust what they're gonna do, and just show it. And I wouldn't read the books because I just started the movies.
Yeah.
I want to finish with that, and then if I ever want, like, it's kind of like Game of Thrones, you know. I started with the show. I wasn't gonna stop midway because I was like, oh, this show is so good. I have to read the books right now. Like, I don't want to spoil it for myself, you know.
Yeah.
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 Anyways,
Game of Thrones
yeah.
is fire.
Hmm?
So good. Game of
Yeah,
Thrones, great
yeah.
show. Supernatural, great show.
Well, the Game of Thrones ended badly, so
Yeah. Well,
it wasn't that good.
I mean, everyone knows that. I think weren't even the actors kind of disappointed with how it ended.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
It was rushed.
It was rushed, and it was short too. Yeah, it wasn't like 6 episodes or something. Like,
Yeah, I wasn't like angry with the ending, but I was like, what?
yeah,
I was confused.
yeah.
Anyways,
Kind of like to close it off, because I mean, we could talk for hours, but we're really rushing now. Like, we're an hour and 20 minutes in.
Oh wow.
But final question out of all of this, I found this movie to be one of the greatest, like, ensemble and still incredible acting throughout the whole thing, like, from
Absolutely.
so many people.
Yeah.
And I just want to know about you, like, seeing that acting, and like, how does that inspire you, like, as a future actor, you know? Like, how do you see, like, working with like an ensemble crew, or even just yourself, you know, like being like a lead or something like that, or even like a supporting character, you know? Like, how do you see yourself, and how does this movie like inspire you even more, you know?
I mean, well, like, just in general, watching a movie like that, the feeling that it gives you, like, sitting there. Oh my God, sorry, the mic.
Yeah,
sitting there and, you know, just feeling the effect of watching the movie, like the effect that it has on you. That is always inspiring to me. Like, watching a movie, and I'm like, I come out of that and I'm like, wow, I felt things. Like, watching the movie, if that makes sense. Like, it gave me goosebumps, or it made me reflect on this aspect of my life, or this, or whatever, or it made me feel this certain emotion, or these particular emotions, whatever. Like, just being able to completely feel immersed in a film, I think is so inspiring, because it kind of puts you into like a different world, right? if you're able to kind of watch a movie and be like, I'm in this universe right now, I'm not on my own, I'm fully immersed in this, that is something that I find like it's just so amazing. I would love to be able to do that for other people. Watching Dune, you know, even like as far as like even just the soundtrack, you know, and the sound effects, like it's incredible. The feeling that it gives you, like watching this and being like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm actually just like a, you know, maybe I'm just like a Fremen on the sidelines watching as these people are conversing. Like it's really neat. It's really cool. Like being able to watch a movie and you're fully immersed to that extent, I think is very inspiring. And it makes me kind of look at that and be like, I want to be able to do this for people. You know, have people be so, how would you say it? So enamored with something. And, you know, like if I could, you know, as I keep trying to kind of pursue my dream of acting and, you know, just being in the kind of film industry, I lost my train of thought.
Actually?
Yeah, I did. I had something like so good to say too. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, but pretty much like being able to perform on the level that these actors are performing is something that I like aspire to one day be able to do. You know, I think there's a lot of movies where you can kind of watch and you're like, oh, it's like I mentioned before, it's like I can tell this is someone playing this character, but I want to be able to be as good as the actors, or do as good of a job as the actors in this film did, because you're looking at that and it's like, this isn't, for example, like this isn't Timothée Chalamet, this is Paul Atreides. Like I want, you know, to kind of have the same effect where it's like if I'm in a movie and I'm one of the, not even just a main character, if I'm just a supporting character, whatever, anything, I want to be able to have people be like, oh, this isn't Catherine, this is this character, you know?
Don't you fear that if people perceive it that way, if people watch you play a role and then they're so immersed and they're like, this is this character, this is not Catherine, aren't you afraid that like
what, they'll treat you like, as such?
That, and also like if you ever do future projects, do you ever feel like
detach from that and see you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, in that case, I think it's like, for one, I mean, I know there's like a lot of people who like they'll play villains or characters that are generally kind of disliked in a franchise or in a film, a movie, whatever series. I feel like as an actor, you would almost have to look at that through a lens of flattery.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because it's gonna hurt you, the things that people are gonna say, regardless if it's like a role where it's like you're a villain and they hate you, they're like fuck you, whatever.
You must have done an incredible job.
Like, like, wow, like they really hate me. I must have done a really good job at playing this horrible character. You know, like I feel like I would have to, if I got the opportunity to play a character like that and I got that kind of hate for like how good my performance was, it's like I'd have to be like, I'm flattered by this, like damn it sucks, but you don't want to look at it in a like, oh, this sucks way, because then it's just going to get to you and it's going to make you feel like crap. So you just want to turn it and be like, I did such a good job, they actually hate me because I played this role so well. You know,
do you see it as like a fun challenge of like, how can I top this even more? Because
I feel like you would have to, otherwise I don't think it's just going to kind of eat you up and gonna make your performances in the future end up not so great. But like I think like the whole goal, or what you mentioned of like, oh, like if you play a character so well and they only see you as this character, how can you know, go ahead and play other characters if people are only going to see you as this? I feel like at that point it's again a thing where you have to just be like, okay, well, I'm going to do so good at this character that now they're like, oh my god, like I really, just like how I was with Austin Butler, I was like, oh, I can't see him playing this character, but I was like, holy shit, like, he did really well. Like, you know, I think I would just have to use that as a source of, you know, something to build on to, or to overcome. Be like, I did so good at this, let me do even better at this. Yeah. You know, but obviously there's always some roles you're going to be better at than others, right?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's art. And
also
it's subjective.
I'm still a nobody, so
yeah.
So we'll see, you know. But I think in general, like the film Dune, both of them, part 1 and 2, so amazing. Denis Villeneuve does an amazing job, like down to every minute detail. The cast, the crew, all the people behind the scenes, like insane.
But before we close on all this, like,
Mhm.
does this how where does this rank compared to like the first one?
I
You
think
know?
it's better than the first for sure. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot more stuff to process,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot more information that you get. I loved part one. I was obsessed with it. I watched it so many times, talked about it so much to people, like to the point where they'd be like, "Oh my god, shut up!" And I'm like, "Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, I like this movie so much." But I think I like the second part better than the first 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean the first one's bad. First one's great, but this one is just, I don't know, something about it. I've also only seen it once so far. I want to see it again. But like,
Yeah.
just the level of realism that they put, like how you get literally blinded the moment they go back to the desert, and it's like, oh, that's what it would be like if you step out from like
Yeah.
a room or something in this environment. You're
Mhm.
like, oh my god, like, you know, like it's fucking bright. And then also, I think I mentioned this to my dad actually, because I was telling him he has to watch it. And I put on the soundtrack for him. I was like, because even the soundtrack is so good. And so I put the Hans Zimmer soundtrack. I was like, see,
Yeah.
like, you listen to this. See, this is so good. Imagine how good the film is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's just, you know, when the helicopters or the plane themabobs that they use, when they start to go on, like the way that the soundtrack like will make the vibrations.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
oh, like I don't know if you've ever been near like a plane taking off that you're not actually in, like around, like just around the area. Like when crafts those big, like that big takeoff, you feel a vibration.
Yeah.
And it's whatever. So it's like, I'm like, oh, it's cool. Like it emulates kind of like, they do a good job at
sound design. Yeah.
Yeah, the sound design is incredible, but they do a really good job just in the whole entire film in general of really kind of implicating that level of realism of, you know, like if you were actually in there, which kind of keeps you to be more immersed. It's like, oh, like, then I'm fucking blinded. I just got to step out in the sun, or oh my god, it's dark again, or oh my god, the vibrations as this dragonfly looking thing is taken off, and all that. I think it's really neat.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
And honestly, it's oh my god, I hope it didn't crash or anything. I was gonna say something. I lost my train of thought.
Uh-oh.
Anyways, maybe this is it's a sign. It's a sign from Muad'Dib that we should close. But before we do, what other movie would you recommend to the people, other than this one?
Ooh. Prisoners.
Yeah.
I really like.
I was low-key thinking about that movie.
Were you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, we're on the same wavelength. Yeah, Prisoners it's so good. I love it. The one thing, I don't know if it was just because of what I watched it on, it just, you kind of have to, like, it's hard to hear the dialogue.
Yeah. I don't remember. I seen it once, and I was very disturbed, and I didn't like the way I felt after that cliffhanger at the end, like. Anyways, it's still a good movie. Anyways, like it still looks nice, great
It's a really
acting, good story.
Yeah,
you know.
I want to watch Nightcrawler next.
Yeah, that's the best Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Yeah, I love Jake Gyllenhaal. He's great.
I think he's my second favorite actor.
Yeah?
In my opinion. Yeah, after
He's
like Ryan Gosling.
He's up there.
Yeah.
You gotta get those Canadians on there, you know.
Yeah. Ryan Gosling is up there.
Is Ryan Reynolds Canadian too? I think
Yeah,
he is.
he is.
Both Ryans are Canadian.
Yeah. They are, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good movie. Nightcrawler is a good movie. Any shows you watching?
Big Up Canada.
Yeah, Big Up Canada, yeah. Any shows you watching right now?
Supernatural again. Yeah? I lied. Why did I lie again? As in, I keep watching it over and over again. I've never seen it before. I'm watching it for the first time this year.
What season are you on?
I think I'm on season 4 or 5. I can tell you for sure.
And what is that? You have 10 more seasons?
Yeah.
Of cable too. Like that's 22 shows.
Season 4, episode 9.
There's like
Almost
what, 22 shows per season? Because it's cable,
episodes?
right?
Yeah.
Do you know how insane that is? 16 like
I really
what
like
how many
it.
seasons?
I think there's 15. And I think there's talk about a 16th season coming out, or a movie or something. I saw on Instagram. I don't
insane.
know if it's true.
That's a stretch. Cable TV to still go like that. That's an incredible run, by the way. Impressive. Congrats, Supernatural team.
It's really good. I really like it. It's almost, it's like a comfort show to me, to be honest. I really love the aesthetics of season 1 and 2 specifically. My God, the aesthetic is just so nice. it gives me my room vibe, but you can't really see that well from this. But
yeah, just imagine like
I think it's
freaky.
I love like I used to study a lot of stuff or look up in my own personal time a lot of like supernatural stuff and religious stuff and phenomena and stuff like that, 'cause I just think it's really cool and neat. And so I had a natural kind of affinity to this kind of stuff, and so watching this show I just love it. And then I really like the chemistry that Jared Padalecki and Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles have in the series. Great. And I also just I think Jensen Ackles is a very talented man. Very talented actor. He can also sing and does a great job. Like he's I think he has his own band called Radio Company or something. I'm like, oh my god, he's so talented. But I actually found out about him first in The Boys. So
yeah,
like, oh my god,
same. Yeah.
Yeah, the character.
Actually, no.
Soldier Boy.
I knew him from Smallville.
Is that
Smallville is like a guilty pleasure show of mine, but it's also ranked like pretty high in my top 10.
Okay.
Because I kind of like just grew up with it. It came out when like the year we were born, so
yeah,
it took me some time.
Came out 2006 or something.
Yeah,
so we're
still kids, so it still took time for us to like get into these shows, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but you should watch Smallville. That's
I will.
But you should stop until at the end of season 7.
Okay.
It was like The Office, like where a character left and for contract reasons, so they had to like write them off in the show. And then the show kind of
fell off a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like The Office. When Michael left, everything.
Yeah, I didn't watch past that point.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it was still funny, but it wasn't. Yeah. But hey,
The Boys and Gen V, also great shows.
Yeah.
At first, I thought I was gonna hate Gen V for some reason. I don't know why. I was like,
I thought so too.
but actually, it's actually good.
I wasn't
and
a fan.
the character that plays Marie, also Marie Moreau, it's literally my last name without the N. What? Anyways. So stupid.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like Gen V?
I think it's hilarious. Well, I don't know. I just thought it I think it's interesting. I like it.
I wasn't a fan. I thought it was like the same plot, like
well, it's from
like finding out corruption. Like it was. We've seen this before.
It's from the same universe. It's
from the same universe.
It's just the university life, which is like maybe it's because I'm like, oh, I can kind of relate a little bit because I'm a university student. But I really, 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 really love The Boys also. But that's where that's where I first ever discovered Jensen Ackles. I was like, oh my god, the guy who plays Soldier Boy, for one, adorable, cutie. Yeah. But like, also he does such a great job at playing Soldier Boy, also. And I was like, who is this guy? And then I looked him up, and then I saw Supernatural. I was like, oh my god, Supernatural. I remember in high school, like grade 8 or 9, I used to hear. Remember Kathleen?
Yeah.
I remember her and Gabby like talking about it all the time. At that point, I was obsessed with the Vampire Diaries. So I was like, I'm never watching anything but the Vampire Diaries. I'm glad that I didn't watch it though, because I feel like it's perfect that I started watching it now. Supernatural. Supernatural's great. Anyways, I love it.
Yeah.
Dean and Sam Winchester, the best siblings in a TV show, maybe. I don't know. It's so funny. It's good.
Yeah. Well, this has been eventful. A long episode, but I think it was one of a very like fruitful conversation, and thanks for coming on.
Of course.
Guys, you know what to do. The usual: like, subscribe, comment. You know, I don't get comments. People don't really comment. You know, and you guys are like,
you have to end it.
People
with
who watch this are like my friends, so like comment. Like,
comment?
Why not?
No, wait. We have to give them a question. Comment.
Is Stilgar a bitch?
Yeah. Is Stilgar a bitch?
Yeah.
Comment. What was Stilgar's biggest downfall?
Yeah. Is he L-Mans? Is Stilgar L-Mans?
Is he a simp?
Is he a simp? Yeah. Is he a dick rider?
He's a worm rider.
Yeah. But yeah. See you guys. Lisan Lagaib.